She has a plan, a secret mission filled by gratitude and affection. She chooses her mother's favorite breakfast. Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a harmonious blend of flavors crafted with care and devotion. The taste of tradition and comfort. In that moment, their connection deepens, a bond strengthened by a shared experience. Delight Foods, House Sakoko, a delicious breakfast made with care and love in just 2 minutes.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
All right, it was for my mama called about SBTV Africa. So time also and I late kakra started 5:30 GMT, but I'm saying 1 or 2 things. My lawyer ABC time also aba my lawyer Wisdom Akao Wise Man Solicitor. What we joining a live war a YouTube channel SBTV Africa, the voice of the community. So now your Facebook live SBTV Africa page, making sure say over share sa information we fill up visitors visa. Hey, see, I say bet me abo ejuma visitors visa we exclusive on SBTV Africa. So share link we aba be finding out information bi am nsaka. Yeah, just say obet me the visitors visitor. Akobo ejuma visitors visa, tourist visa yeah kan ya so kwa o take untimi nye ejuma o take untimi nye ejuma o fill form to see a UK aban say ukra tourist visa na urema obetimi the ejuma no kra woman na anase kra nim SBTV Africa the exclusive thing ya bremo live or channel so from DJ nyame for adwin chireba for questions ba wo lawyer wa homa no so wo questions be person obisa na time no so a me the better screen so ma we you no pepe into way share link no omo person mo ko UK nkomo ene e ba be di Fridays bia no me ne ba nti share link no o hwa tap subscribe no so na share link ne ma WhatsApp status Telegram friends maybe a Facebook page share wo de share ka unlu so hwe share na em benefit obi nti wa be join here ndia me enko straight na me ne lawyer Wisdom Akao Wise Man Solicitors emra ne mbedi nkomo na me bisa ne se no kro bi wom sa se ukra visitors visa obetimi abe ejuma o UK na started apen no kren so a next year na start enti enko no say UK government dey be om sansa no mo ba om say e chi no mo say enti si ano me kwa go sere obi o metimi aye ejuma na amintimi nye ejuma enti ma me enko straight am ne lawyer Wisdom Akao Wise Man Solicitors including lawyer Wezolo o sound mute check o screen so sound mute audio no
Merry Christmas.
Wezolo
Yo.
Sisi awaba studio A.
Baba Studio A.
Hey, Chale, we are brutal, man. We are brutal.
Miss Yao, DJ.
We are brutal. Now, Wise Man Solicitors, you get to say, I want more thing.
Oh, I wanted to say they are stabilizing a crowd, but yeah, cool. I mean, once I ultimately bought 442 and a 224, then you're okay. Just all shot at it 2 and a 4. Then just say, wash your tema, no wash your trouser can wear. Now socks maybe so wash your bagwana mule. Just a really 442 and a 224, then you're okay.
Taleba Osha Padia, Anka Ghana, the weather near power by 6 or 7 them ko ya best.
I did dear. I'll be honest with you. Anka regionally is the best. And you're the best because hey, 24 hours. If you have a tank a crown but a numpono, and you're too bad. But to be honest, Anka is the best place to be. But don't know MY.
Juma Semini at the that Abeye. Still I will hope. You better build a
Oh yeah.
cracker.
Yes, when you say ebeye kakra. Bobo imahi onlo.
Bobo, my lawyer. And mete Philabi say, Tisiano, visitors visa no, ye bet me ababe juma. Oh, ye rema, ye bet me ababe juma, and Mr. Visitors visa there. Restrictions, yes, our program restrictions no dosu. Untimi nye juma, untimi nye way, untimi ba me hu information be said. Ye bet me the visitors visa ababe juma. Nti una oye expert. Me no aba. Yen take is our topic. Ni yen bisa say no krebi wom say. Me give visitors visa. A friend the tourist visa na. Metimi ababe juma na no krebi wom sa.
DJ meda se yɛkyia atiefo nyinaa nso biom na mema obiara nso afei hyapa meda se ɛm sɛ topic wei deɛ yɛkasa ho bebree ɛna yɛkasa about visit visas a lot and visit visas no sɛ wohwɛ appendix V for visit under the immigration rules no ɛhɔ ɛna all the rules and other governing principles and other governing the directions no ɛwɔ with regards to visit visas. Now, there are a lot of restrictions when it comes to the visit visa provisions. Nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a woba a wontumi ɛnyɛ because woba no, the name is visit visa. Woba abɛsra na wasan akɔ back to your country. Ɛnyɛ coming to work anaa coming to stay. It is to visit. And there were different types of visit visas. You were the standard visit visa. I don't know, normal one now, yeah, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, you were no. I don't know just over for visit and then you go back. And you were transit visa. I know the Uber Faha not watchum not wako and also is categorized as a type of visa. Then we have the marriage visitors visa. And no uji sa uba ababewari, and there's another type called the fiancé visitors visa. So these categories, baku always me worry, and the worry you have to go back to your country and apply to come back in. And then the other type, the fiancé one, uba ebewaria, then you could possibly apply whilst you are in the UK. So there are different types of visit visas. But again, there are restrictions on these visas. See, you're focusing on the standard one and the restrictions, and then the changes are the same. I would say, is going to be helpful to a lot of people. The other one is that if you come as a standard visitor, there are a lot of things you cannot do. What you cannot do, or the things you can't do, involve one, you cannot work, you cannot do unrelated work as an overseas job. For example, you're not supposed to work. That's the first position. But the honor changes look at Abano will look at that. Want to make go school, you cannot go to school or you cannot enroll in any educational institution whilst in the UK. That is a prohibition. You cannot live in the UK for extended periods. In other words, what back for 2 months, what for 1 month, what's back for another 6 months, what for 1 month, what's back for another 3 months. Work for 2 weeks. That is means you are living in the UK for extended periods, or you are using the UK as your home rather than just coming to visit and then going back. So that is also a restriction on a visitor's visa. You can also not marry or give notice to marry. And say, fiancé, and now you have a fiance in the UK and you intend to come and get married, your best bet or your best option is to apply for the marriage visa or the fiancé visa and not to come with a standard visa, because Once you come with a standard visitor's visa, you cannot switch that to a spouse visa. So those are some of the restrictions. You cannot work as a spouse person is a restriction you cannot engage in. I mean, looking at the position originally, you can't engage in work as a visitor. And of course, you cannot, like I've talked about marriage already, you cannot go to school. You can't go to school if you come to the UK as a visitor. So, these are the normal restrictions when it comes to visit visa, standard visit visa applicants. However, there have been certain suggestions, a few changes now. I just said, Uber to me, Abba UK ha, as a visitor. Now, wabayɛ juma for 1 month. It's only 1 month. 1 month. So 1 month now, you cannot extend that visa after it has expired. So it says you may be able to visit the UK for a engagement, paid engagement if you have been invited as an expert in your profession by a UK based organization or client. You must be you must be invited as an expert. So you must be an expert in your profession. It's not just for everybody. So we have to be very, very careful how we word this. Yes, it says you may be able to visit the UK for a paid engagement if you have been invited as an expert in your profession. So first of all, you have to be an expert in your profession. And that is one. Number two, you must be invited by a UK based organization or a client before you can come to the UK in the category we are talking about. Now, let's look at it. It says you can visit the UK up to 1 month. You cannot extend your stay in the UK. You can visit the UK up to 1 month, but you cannot extend your stay in the UK. So after that 1 month, you will be required to leave the UK. So you must be an expert in your field, and secondly, you must be invited by a UK based organization or a client. So that is the basis of the whole thing. Now let's look at it into what you can do and what you cannot do. It's a what you can and cannot do. You can be invited and paid by a UK-based organization or client. They said a UK-based organization and our client bet me invite Sebra UK as a professional artist. And to be an artist, very good artist. You know, the people who do art and drawing, and especially that's a professional in that aspect. You are an expert as an artist. You better may apply for a visa to come upon the invitation of a UK-based organization or a sponsor or a client. It is possible. So if you are an artist and you can liaise with some organizations in the UK that deal with art, etc., etc., and they want to see how good you are, or they want to, of course, give you the opportunity to display your talent, they can invite you and then you can come as an artist to the UK for the 1 month period. So, an artist, a professional artist, not just anybody who draws by the roadside, but you have to be accredited as a professional artist. That is one. Number two, you must be an entertainer or a musician. An entertainer or a musician. Example, we have some entertainers. Ewa Ghana, Ewa Nkomode, Ewa Santo Nomu. Those that are still in the industry. Omono, ombetimianya invite. Se omo beba abema entertainment. Omo betimi aba. but they need to be invited. As I said, UK Shimbina invite one, a UK-based client and our organization, and I invite Sebra as an entertainer or as a musician. Sebra about music. Meaning UK-based organizations be to say restaurants be Ghanaian restaurants be UK ha. If they have the right documentations and sponsorship, they can invite you to come and, of course, perform some musical, undertake some musical performances or entertainments in the UK. So that option is there for people in that industry. So a professional artist, professional entertainer, and musicians, they can come to the UK with the visit visa to come and perform for 1 month and then decide to go back. Or if they have to go back, you can apply again to come back in to, but you can't stay for more than 1 month when you come here under this category. And as also so want to make extend this visa as I said earlier. Another category of Omometime Abba with this visit visa to get work, to work and be paid. You'll be paid. When uba keke na wabe entertainment keke, do you actually be paid? Amono, are a professional sports persons? If you're a professional sports person, it is also possible to come and work for 1 month. But again, as I said, uba on the invite of an organization or a client. Or no name more invite now, son, wait to me. Abba. The other category is a professional, a lecturer. A lecturer, we a lecturer or series of lectures. Lectures. ABI, you're coming to give some lectures in some things that ABI you have a good knowledge in that aspect. Now, open so lectures. UK, and that is within 1 month. Of course, so university be invite you to come and lecture them on maybe the African traditional religion. That is something you can come and lecture in, or possibly to lecture them on the changes in the political system in Africa and the prospects of any possible or positive outcomes. They want you to come and lecture because you're a political lecturer in maybe any of these universities. Obetimia invite you over to give that lectures, and it is for 1 month. And Ombechiaoka, you can and you must be paid for the services. Or they can invite you to come and talk about trokosi or even witchcrafts, etc., etc. Some knowledge that they don't have here. They want you to come and lecture them on that or in that aspect. It is possible, sir, over to me, Abba, provided they invite you, the university invites you and you apply for the visa, you get a visa, you come and lecture in that sector. And once you come after the lectures, one month, you are supposed to go back. You cannot extend your visa to stay after the duration of the invite. So that is that. You can also come as a qualified lawyer to represent a client here in the UK. And to say we lawyer our Ghana na our clients be our case our UK ha. Ubetame aji visa to come as a lawyer to represent your client here in the UK. We are now sign ako back to the to your country to Ghana. And now our client our Ghana, our clients know one your case. Yeah, as a so back UK have every case no. Also over to me and then Abba as the the legal rep. Now Abba representing who representing you are, of course you'll get paid and then you can go back to your country. So you can again come to the UK as a professional, as a lawyer, a qualified lawyer, or as a lecturer, or for a series of lectures. You can come and engage in those activities and you will be paid in the UK for the service that you render. So that is it. So I've talked about professional artists, professional entertainer, musicians, professional sports persons. I'm sure you want to come as a sportsman for maybe 1 month. Maybe a club has invited you to come and just maybe play with them, etc., etc. Of course, that option is also there for you. A professional lawyer, a qualified lawyer, can also come and represent their client here in the UK. You are not coming to work in other sector, but you are only coming to represent your client. After the representation or after the case is concluded, you would have to go back to Ghana, and of course, it has to be within a month. It's not going to be more than a month. An academic. So, and also, we are academic, and so, to me, Abba UK with a visit visa to be a student examiner or an assessor. And to ABIA, you are a lecturer in University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, KNUST, Ashas University, Central University, any of these universities that we have in Ghana, Pentecost University, and all those other places. And you have to come and assess a client or a student in the UK, or to examine, to be an examiner of the student in the UK. And also, it's possible for you to come as an examiner or as an assessor to come to the UK in that category. So these are the categories. The other one is you can come as an air pilot examiner, an air pilot examiner. So if you're a pilot in Ghana, you are a professional in that area, and they want you to come and examine some students. Of course, you can come examine them, air pilot examiner in the UK, and also in that category to, of course, examine them and then go back after the 1 month of coming to the UK as a visitor. So these are the openings that have come, and it is very, very helpful. And I believe a lot of people, a lot of professionals will take the opportunity to come and, of course, give them the rich knowledge that we have from Ghana. Entertainers. The Ghanaian entertainers can also make use of this opportunity, genuinely come, entertain, and then go back. So if you know a restaurant, a Ghanaian restaurant in the UK that is well established, and they have they are able to invite you to come for this program, then certainly you can come and perform and then go back. Either musicians, entertainers, etc., etc., you can all come, perform, and then return to your country. So these are the options. Now, there are some things that you cannot do, even though omudi sa opportunities about never be or want to me enye Saudi sa visit visa no eba want to me enye. One, you cannot work in an unrelated job. Do pay work unrelated to your main overseas job or area of expertise. In other words, Ubai as a lecturer in geography, you cannot end up becoming a supervisor in a cleaning company or in an IT company. It is not related to the jobber, the professional with the barrier to be in the UK or to visit the UK. You cannot do that. And it should be related to your profession or in the category in which you came. Now, if you came as an entertainer, you have to work in that industry as an entertainer. Ebia uni bar one, restaurant one, a Ghanaian restaurant one, more program then you go to another Ghanaian restaurant to perform again, and another Ghanaian restaurant to perform. So within that 1 month, you can work in various related industries, but it has to be in, of course, if you came as an entertainer, as I said, entertainment throughout. Want to me enja entertainment end to ho enko yejuma as a sports person. No matter how good you are in sports, so with the entertainment in the bar, you have to carry on in that sector as an entertainer, not as something in a different category else. Of course, so that is that. So you cannot do paid work unrelated to your main overseas job or area of expertise. You can't. Whatever you do has to relate to the job you did when you were outside or the job you do once you are back home and you are only coming to do that and then you go back. You cannot study. You cannot come to study. Was that 1 month here? Won't remember enroll in a university or to study in the UK. Won't me. It is not permitted in or on that visa. You cannot. I might still on DJ. Okay. All right. I guess I am still connected. I guess I'm still connected. Um, okay, DJ, if at any time I lose connection, just prompt me, then I could reconnect.
Yeah. Freezing be back a crazy, so I don't know whether free one I say free me, but you say a call off a crazy, but maybe I okay to see us, so you can continue.
That's fine. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So yes, you cannot work in an unrelated area. You cannot study, and you cannot live in the UK for extended periods. Wouldn't mean 1 month and some 1 month and some. I don't know. It's like we are living in the UK for extended periods. You are not allowed to do that on this type of visa. Wouldn't me NG benefit. You cannot claim benefit. You cannot claim benefit. No matter your circumstances, you cannot claim benefit. Or you don't even apply for it because you won't get the benefit. You are not supposed to take benefit as a person in this category. And you cannot pass through the UK to another country in transit. Until the serve visa way back. Wontumi nka sɛ ɔmo ababɛsra UK nti mepɛ sɛ megye American visa na mekɔ US. You can't do that. You are coming only for the purpose a ɛno nti a yɛde visa no ɛma wo no na wowie a wasan akɔ w'akyi back to your country. You cannot marry or register a civil partnership or even give notice of marriage or civil partnership. Wontumi ɛnware wɔ ha. Wontumi ɛmma notice sɛ wopɛ sɛ woware. Wontumi register civil partnership. Ɛyɛ na nkurɔfoɔ bisa me sɛ what's the difference between civil partnership and then marriage? Now marriage ni kyerɛ sɛ ɔbaa ne ɔbɛrima ɛno ne yɛfrɛ no marriage. Civil partnership ni yɛ ɛbɛrima ne ɛbɛrima anaa ɔbaa ne ɔbaa ɛno ne yɛfrɛ no ekurom ha sɛ civil partnership. Ɛno is not classified as a marriage but is classified as civil partnership. And to sɛ woba with the visa you can't give notice say wopɛ sɛ woware and now you want to form a civil partnership. Wontumi nware, wontumi form a civil partnership. You can't even give notice that you want to do that. That is not permitted in the ambit in terms of the provisions of this visa with the Ebeba as a visitor. Now you have to check that you meet the eligibility requirement before you can apply for this visa. You have to check that you meet the eligibility requirement. One, you must be able to show that, as I just said, you have been formally invited by a UK-based organization to attend a pre-arranged event or other permitted engagement. Brofono Dawson, Timame Enka Ewochemu. As I said, which I said, UK organization and a company be our UK Hano, and I'm our invite, Sebra, Beye Entertainment, as a musician, as a doctor to come and lecture, as an examiner, as a university lecturer or examiner, or in any other category. You have to show that you have been formally invited, and you need a formal invite letter. Sometimes we say invitation letter. You need a formal letter of invite or inviting you to the UK to perform whatever task or whatever duty you have been asked to come and perform. We'll hear a formal letter from the organization to do that, and allow your client to come and do that. You have to show that. Number two, The event or engagement relates directly to your expertise, qualifications, and main job in your country. That is another thing. Ejuma a woba abɛyɛ, nea woba abɛyɛ no ɛsɛ sɛ ɛyɛ related to ejuma a woyɛ wɔ fie ɛwɔ Ghana hɔ anaa ɛwɔ kurom. Ɛsɛ sɛ wokyerɛ sɛ ejuma a nea woba abɛyɛ wɔ ha no, it relates to what you do back home. It also relates to your profession. So again, if you are not in a particular profession, you cannot get a visa to come to the UK to do anything in that profession. So maybe if you're a lawyer, you are coming to represent your client. If you're a lawyer and you're coming to lecture in a university, that is, you are coming to lecture in the university. You can't come as a lawyer and then go and become a spokesperson. That won't work. You can't come as a doctor and go and become a musician. That will not work. You can't come as maybe a surveyor in a particular profession, having been invited by a university to come and lecture in that area and then go and do something else. You can't do that. So you come in the area that is of your profession and your expertise. That is where you have to come and work in. So it has also to be in a job that you do back home, not just anything new. The next one is you must be over 18 years. You can't be under 18. You have to be over 18 years old to apply for this visa. So that is where it stands. Now you are visiting the UK for no more than 1 month. Only 1 month. Only 1 month. Not more than 1 month. And no, Enna, as I said, Udi says, look, I'm only coming for 1 month, and after the 1 month, I'm going back to my country to carry on with my life back home. You are able to support yourself during your trip or have funding from someone else to support you. Service say, ansa na ubetime anya service say, and so it says, you have enough money to look after yourself, to sponsor your trip, your visit to come to the UK, your plane fare, your maintenance, your expenses, your shopping, everything, if that is what you want to come and do in addition to the purpose you are coming. Of course, won't remember UK and just go away without buying one or two things. So you need to show that you have the money, you have the funds to take care of that and to take care of that aspect as well. So, anaasɛ wankasa wo ne sika no mpo na sɛ ebia nipa na ɔ invite wo no ɔno na ɛbɛtua the plane fare, the cost associated with everything for you, then of course and also it's a good thing. They can do that on your behalf. For you, they have to provide the funds to show that yes, they are able to sponsor you X, Y, Z. Then the other one is you have to show that you have funded. Okay, I've talked about the funding from a third party to show that yes, of course, you will be able to. They can sponsor you as a. You will not live in the UK for extended periods. I've mentioned this about 3 times. You can't come and live in the UK for a long time, for 1 month, go back, come back another 1 month, go back, come. No, you can't do that. So these are also prohibited. Now, you will not live in the UK for extended periods through frequent and successive visits or make the UK your main home. Yeah, so it said, but only for the purpose of the reason you've been invited, only for that purpose, for the purpose that the visa has been issued, as a lecturer, as an entertainer, as a spokesperson, as an examiner, as a pilot examiner, as a dancer, etc., etc., as a professional artist, as a lawyer to represent your clients, etc., etc., etc. If you can prove these things, then you will be able to apply for this visa. Now, Obi Ebisami said, how much money do I need to apply for this visa? The message says, yes, how much money would I need to apply for this visa? It is like every other visitor's visa. There is no fixed amount of money for you to have before you come as a visitor in this category. What you have to prove is that you have sufficient funds to take care of your needs, of course, to pay your transport, your plane fare back and forth, your shopping, and of course, your maintenance. So while we are calculation now, assuming that the plane fare is even, let's say, £800. £800 and a war. Now, sorry, £800 any plane fare. No, we show account tomorrow. You have 1,500. So we get £800 if you more. I can't say I got £700. Biane, how much would you spend on maintenance, on food? After that, how much would you spend on maybe shopping on bits here and there? You have to factor all of this in and ask yourself whether the money you have is enough. And see, there is no fixed amount. There is no fixed amount to show that you need to show that this is the amount you have before you can apply for this visa. But you need to show that you have sufficient. There is no fixed amount, but you need to show that you have enough amount. And no, as I said, while we have calculation of plane fare, living costs, shopping, etc., etc., etc. No one your total. No, the cities now want you convert it into pounds and see if you've made that amount of money. Now, to prepare for your invitation and other documents, you must have a passport or travel document to enter the UK. It should be valid. The passport must be valid. That is one. And you need a formal invitation, written invitation from the UK-based organization. The invitation letter could be from, so you need an invite letter from the UK-based organization. The letter must be from organization in the creative arts or entertainment industry. Creative arts or entertainment industry. DJ Nyami, I know you know about this creative arts industry. So, actual letter, and not from the entertainment industry for you. Sports organization, agent, or broadcaster. The sports organization can be ABR, the Boxing Federation in the UK, possibly the Amputees Association of Sports People. Of course, maybe you want to come as badminton, people who played badminton, table tennis. So you can liaise with these organizations. If you're a very good table tennis player, I'll liaise with them. You go online, locate them, the registered ones. They don't have to have a sponsorship license like if you're coming to work here full time. And we are totally different. Where as long as the organization is established and recognized, amount letter now. And maybe they are in a creative art industry or entertainment industry, sports organization, agent or broadcaster. Amount letter to come to the UK in that category to work. Then you have to check what you plan to do in the UK. You have to check what you plan to do in the UK. We have visit visa application. You have to, of course, specify in the application form exactly what you intend to do when you come to the UK. So you set it out very clearly, not set the casework and you share on them, say you know exactly what you are coming to do and why you are coming here. With that, you will be able to apply for the visa. You have to check you meet the eligibility requirements, of course, and then you also have to prepare your invitation and other documents before you can apply for this visa. Check if you need to apply for visa to visit, obviously from Ghana, unless you are a British passport or you have indefinite leave to remain. If you're a lecturer, a doctor, an entertainer, etc., etc., you would certainly need a visa to come to the UK here to perform any of the permitted activities. So these are generally the kind of changes that have come with regards to the visit visa. And yes, generally visitors cannot work when you come to the UK. However, there is this exception for a category of people, professionals, for up to 1 year, up to 1 month, up to 1 month, and they can be paid for the services that they render. So DJ, that is the hot update. I'm sure there might be some questions, and then I can move on to the general things we've treated this year.
Lawyer Wisdom Akaho,
DJ
Wise Man Solicitors. Oh, yeah, heavy pa.
Oh, DJ.
The end name from money and then we're breaking it down. My yatias here. Inti say antennas ha, not just say Obiati or so visitors visa, standard visitors visa, oh Roma Kwakuye Juma. Anytime that me 100 party be catch them so say na question am say oh there Tobo, I'll bring my man today. Wherever the matter they we go bring her out. So on the say what na then go from brand then omo baba beji me say sir oh there Tobo me so say on no hwe me say there Tobo me the immigration lawyer ne beba. Solicitor ne beba. They won't be oba be catch you. It's a good say waba wabeka che say abeka che man for some follow any idea say na bia obi mfa we nkodupi obi
yes
me de minimi yankrofa yi obi ba ko twa bibia che say o remo besi me akoye adwuma ontie na ko na akoye o ontimi ngoye adwuma it's a good say o de we nyina update we nyina bra yesu ade omo mbeti omo muntie no yede bebu om sa nti omo mbeti nti lawyer me that say wabana me wo few questions time me who say am for the omo de eba but me am from plant me pese ye ba be see e pon na afi na o posti na o afi na o yere o post time na so nti lawyer me wo few ones me wo answer na ye be come me fan to screen so na show mom Salomon Koi me that say obe join Salo. Okay, so then take you where.
Thank you. I'll say, lawyer, if I appeal for a ban and I win, are going to give me a visa or they are going to just leave the ban? Are they going to give me a visa? Well, I mean, first of all, sir, we have talked about this ban for 10 years under paragraph 327A, etc., B, etc., of the immigration rules are a general grounds for refusal. Not say you ban for any reason, for maybe using a false document, false bank statement, false pay slips, false money transfer certificate, or any of those things, whether known or unknown, and you are banned for 10 years, you can appeal or apply for the ban to be removed if there is a justifiable grounds for it to be removed. So, ban na, it does not go back to affect or for your visa to be reinstated. No, it is only the ban that has been lifted or removed. It does not mean that the visa no ever mau. So unfortunately, you may have to, well, maybe fortunately, you will have to apply for another visa and maybe submit the right documentations to support the application. That is if and only if the ban is lifted. Hello, Miss Na Akushika Lamte. Please, my uncle is in the UK and intends filing for my kids. He is the one who takes care of them. He holds a British passport. Can that be possible? Well, it could be possible depending on the circumstances. If you look at paragraph 3, paragraph 297 of the immigration rules, there is a provision under F which says if there is a family member in the UK and there is a compassionate circumstance under which a child have to come to the UK, and there is, like I said, I would say compassionate, compelling circumstances for which the child has to come to the UK, and it will be wrong or to be unfair to leave or let the child remain back home. On that basis, they may consider the child's application under paragraph 297 of the immigration rules. 297, I think, F or so, of the child to come. But if that doesn't work, then there's the other option, genuine adoption. If there's a genuine adoption, say, or adoptee emofrana, genuinely, now he meets all the criteria for the adoption by starting from the UK, getting the certificate of eligibility. The adoption agencies are involved. They have done all their assessments, and he gets the certificate, and then goes back to Ghana to adopt the child or the children have become his children. They are no longer your children. Then he can apply for the children to come as his children, but that's only after the adoption, not before the adoption. So these are the two options. The first option, A, paragraph 297 IF, I think, but no, it's not guaranteed. And it's not said there's some compassionate, compelling family circumstances. I don't see how he can show that unless maybe there's some medical grounds or there's some serious issues there. So that is one. And the other one is the adoption, but it has to be a genuine adoption, not adoption because he wants to bring the children to the UK. There has to be a genuine need for adoption and it's been assessed and assessed properly. Hello, good evening. I want to ask that will adoption affect benefits? Adoption, it depends. If I need to know if adoption in the UK or adoption from outside. If the kids is in the UK and you adopt the child in the UK, yes, of course. If you can prove that you need a benefit to look after the child, that may be considered. But anontina say ukoye adoption, they assess your financial circumstances. They assess a one ejuma be na wo sika se na woji, how much is your expenditure, how much is left for you. Yeah, yet all those assessments before they prepare the adoption pack. Now, they don't want you to adopt and become a burden on the social system. I don't think they assess you. So the assessment says you are able to meet the financial requirement, then we adoption area and the child becomes your child, you shouldn't be going for benefit. But of course, again, circumstances do change. So we adoption area at the time now we are assessments, you were able to meet the requirements. But things have changed. Unfortunately, you are not able to look after the child anymore. Certainly, so we are application, they will be able to consider the circumstances and determine whether say yeah, the benefits everyone. So yes, benefit adoption can affect benefits. It can affect benefit, but it all depends on your circumstances. They may not stop giving you the benefit. No, I don't think they will stop giving you the benefit, but it also depends on the circumstances that presents itself. Hello, Mr. Asari, a senior status law student here in the UK. I would be glad if you could give me the opportunity of a vocational scheme internship at your firm. I promise to make you proud. Mr. Emmanuel Asari, take my number. Take my number. My number is 079 31 411 042. 079 042. It's DJ Nyami put it on the screen anyway. 079 Please contact me after the program. Just send me a text message and follow it up with a call after the program. We can arrange something for you to come in and let's have a chat. I like to help my people, so please do call me. Do call me. Thank you. So yes, DJ, I can proceed with the questions now. Just made it. Okay, just made it. Please, can you assist me to switch from dependent visa to skilled or other visa without employer or sponsors? It's difficult. You need a sponsorship. You need a sponsorship. Unless otherwise your circumstances have changed, maybe into a partner or a parent route, then you don't need a sponsorship. But if you need to, from a dependent school visa to another employer, then you would certainly need a sponsorship certificate before you can switch. I'm sorry, I wish I could help a little more, but you need a sponsorship. Hello, Kojo Darkwa. I have a main job earning 30K a year and a part-time job earning £170 a week. I've done both jobs for more than a year. Should I maintain both jobs in my spouse? Should I mention yes, both jobs? Should I mention both jobs in my yes? You can. In fact, you don't need to mention the second job. The first job, 30K, is more than enough for you. What we need right now until the changes take effect is £18,600. And you are earning 30K, which means you are way, way, way above the requirement. So you don't have a problem. You can just use the first job, the 30,000 a year job. You don't have to add the £150 a week one. But if you also want to prove to them extra, it's just an extra, you can add that as well. But it is not mandatory. The first job is more than enough to prove that you meet the requirement. But remember, that is up to March before the changes take effect. If you do it before March, you are okay. If it is after March, then they are saying there's going to be £38,700. We hope it doesn't come to pass. But if it does come to pass, then certainly you will need your second job to prop it up to show that you meet the requirement. Thank you very much. Make it make sense. Hi, make it make sense. I hope you are okay. Uh, can you spearhead a move to subject Home Office mental evaluation for the financial changes they want to go into? Can you spearhead a move to subject the Home Office to? Well, the Home Office is not an individual; it's an organization. So you can't just point at one person. However, I understand there is a petition going on to raise our voice and raise our concerns about this Home Office increment that they want to bring into effect. It is draconian. It is seriously unreasonable to raise the financial threshold from 18,600 to 38,700. That is about how much? Uh, £20,100 extra. 20,000, is it £20,100 extra or something? How many people can meet this threshold? From 18.6 to 38.7. That is it's unreasonable. I mean, my math is not the greatest. So 38,700 minus 18,600. That is, well, my math is not bad. £20,100 difference in one jump is too much. So I believe that this will be subjected to litigation. It's going to be challenged. I strongly believe that. But there is also a petition going on. Now, all Ghanaians, all minority people in this country, Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans, Ivorians, Liberians, Zimbabweans, across Africa, Indians, Chinese, anybody in this country who may fall victim to this change, please sign the petition when you get it. I haven't received it. I've been told, but I haven't received it yet. So once I get it, I'll put it out there for all of us to respond to it because it is not reasonable. It is not reasonable for them to increase it that much. So please, let's all respond when we get the petition. When did the visiting visa take effect? Well, it's now out there. From what I read, it has not, we haven't received any specific date, but I suppose it is about immediately. However, I would do my research. Whatever I hear, I go and do my little research, deep research before I come out here. So give me next week. I will tell you exactly when this visa proposal, the change will take effect. Yeah, DJ Pacho, if you know the name, the number, if you have the number of the gentleman who said that he wanted to come and do a work placement, you can take the number for me. That is, if you have his contact, you can take that from him. Okay, so switch from dependent to student visa. Yes, just made it. It's possible. Now I checked this for somebody yesterday, whether he can switch from the dependent visa to the student visa. Now, if you go to appendix tier 2 visa, okay, not tier 2, I'm so sorry. If you go to tier 4 visa, so student visa, okay, Let me tell you the category of people who cannot switch to the tier 4. If you are in the UK with a visit visa, you cannot switch. If you are in the UK with a visa that is student visa less than 9 months, you cannot switch. If you are in the UK as a domestic worker in a private household, you cannot switch. If you're in the UK and your visa has expired, you cannot switch. If you're in the UK as a seasonal worker, maybe picking fruits and stuff like that on farms, you cannot switch. Apart from this category, she knew why I said we will have as a dependent of a student or dependent of a skilled worker, you cannot switch. So I think based on the provision, it is possible to switch from a dependent of a student or dependent of a skilled worker to become a student in the UK. So we will be able to you are having difficulties, your dependent, your main applicant, or by want me and Juma and visa no you don't know, sir, after 2 years, 3 years, whether you'll be able to renew it. You may consider switching to become a student. Now you can stay in the country whilst without becoming an overstayer in the UK. Yes, so that is my advice. Now, the profession stated in my marriage certificate is different from my job, my current job. Would that have a negative effect on my spouse visa application? No, 100% no, at all. People change jobs. Ejuma deɛ wotumi ɛsesa ejuma at any time. And the fact that will be a lecturer at a time, not to say we're a politician, it doesn't mean that onto me, it doesn't mean that it will affect their anybody's visa application. No, it will not. And the fact that Abia Obi a student at the time, and Sana to say wabeye a friend is saying an employee or as a professional in another category, that will not affect their job, their application at all. So no, the profession in your on your marriage certificate will not affect your application to come to the UK as a spouse or in any such category. It shouldn't affect you.
Lawyer, so far, the men's account was having a media to screen, so now. And I'm be about now, can be about this Omamuremo with their dependent and then visa near Muduremo. After renewal, any idea, no, Obi Bisami say, a bim bet me issue. No crabby womb. Say, Yaman Koye as planner.
Yes. Yes.
Renewal.
Yeah, renewal time. No, I foresee a lot of problems in the next 2 years or after 2 years, 2.5, 3 years time. On the visa, no, the dependent visas, no, is based on the Amudima, the main applicants. And the certificate of application is 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. So about 2 years, I saw 2 years, now say another 3 years, a total of 5 years, and son I went to me a call for indefinite. So about 3 years, I saw another 2 years, a can't answer for the indefinite. The amount of 5 years now in there, 5 years straight, and so we have 5 years now for indefinite. Now the problem we are foreseeing is that even more 2 years, so even more 3 years. So unfortunately, only employer and the main person, only employer and not or no equal renew after 2 or 3 years. Now when the required documentations, the letter from the sponsor to say that they are still working with them and they still need their services, the pay slips, the bank statement, and possibly another COS or to show that their services are still required. And you want to make and renew. One to renew, the dependent will also automatically be affected. So that is a huge problem that is currently in the system in terms of even work. 2 years time, when people's visas and leaves starts expiring, we're gonna have a lot of difficulties. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So you will see will be at work room for 2 years. After that, the visa they will want to me and switching. It'll be at now for 3 years after that, maybe I know when to switch it. And I'll be at now for even 5 years after that, when to switch it, when to me uncle for indefinite because if you're on any employer now, I'm on Yejuma. And I went to me switching to another employer within the 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. And that will create a lot of problems for people after the duration of the.
Bebree na ɔmo wura mu a ɛntumi anya adwuma ama ɔmo no ɔmo ankasa ɔmo kakɔ hustle on their own with different work ɛmɛrɛ no so a in the system no ɔmo nim sɛ ɔno adwuma wɔ na ɛyɛ ɔno company wɔ na ɛyɛ adwuma but wɔn ti ɔmo anya adwuma
Yes.
you ba be renew ɔbɛnya asɛm
Ever create a problem if you they may refuse your visa application because also as I said which is when the employer now or do buy no when it does a juma as I said amount letter to that effect possibly another COS for 3 years or 2 years now so when it's employer no any contact when in the engagement COS no letter evidence in that case, it's going to be a huge, huge problem for you. I've had DJ this few weeks we've dealt with so many issues like this. It's becoming serious. It's becoming extremely, extremely serious. And let's say I met clients who had difficulties in that sector. Employer no, or from ground, or friend employer no ground, so stranded. Obi nso akɔrɛnti dan wɔ baabi ɔsɛ obra for young friends for induction and for orientation wakɔ one day ɔmo de na kɔ ha after that 2 months de yɛn friend no for adwuma mpo meanwhile wosi nipa ne mbɛn beebi a adwuma ne wɔ wakɔ akɔrɛnti dan wɔ hɔ otua sika otua rent nowhere so saa nipa yɛ ɔkɔ complain nipa yɛbɛka sɛ yɛyi wo di nso a. It's just becoming all kinds of complications in the system. I don't think America said, so if you say, well, you either seek advice quickly to switch to another category. You said you'll be about students. Maybe you could switch, you call student route in the soil. We call it school 1 year, why you master's and at first degree. We are 2 years graduate visa route. Within that 2 years now, I know you don't need an employer. The 2 year graduate one, you don't need any employer. All you need to do is say, we will course now. We will course now. Then they would again give you the 2 years visa, the student, the graduate route. Within that 2 years, circumstances do change. Maybe you get married, you genuinely, you have a child, etc., etc. You can always switch.
So when you know, me know why you bebree na so no yan kenkan sa de wi ntie sa programs we no. Abrochina na yepese ewrem. Bebree no beka so ewrem keke ne we ti concern agbede for carry overload. Just one enter. We ewrem no nim say we say we wie but be that him. So iti enye me program bi say na ya me person go 40 asa na be ya enke chire who waste means be also bet me dia onyama but yes na sa who say me there yes ya ka che me say yes me hu ye no na me say no de to bu ansa na de obenfo beba de obenfo ne ba no kra wom bia no be ka che say na be ya omo mu follow ye no so no obi nkoye omo yahu koye omo wayo oh sisi how did you standard visa room obey adwuma we adwuma be 6 months 1 year oh no na die Crawford
no I continue so na just
okay me wa question bi wa Tom Ofusu pick you in here.
Hello Tom, hi. Can NHS staff still bring their dependents? I heard they are exempted from the new law. Well, the changes have been announced. We are still waiting for the fine print, the fine details. So we are waiting, say, either within the next few weeks, or possibly after Christmas, or we enter the first part of the new year, we will get more details. We'll get more of the policy guidance and the details. And no, different be HC. HC, that's the House of Commons amendments. It will give us the details, who is excluded, who is included, who is what's supposed to do. So to say in Parliament, Omar can try. They've just said everything just as it is, but we are waiting to get the details. The senior working, that is what is out there, but I will not give you any specific until I can read it and point you to that. Go to HC11 so and so, HC71, then I know they will call her. Everybody can go there and read it for themselves. But for now, I'm not going to give you much information because there is not much for me to give you right now as I speak. But as soon as the details come out, I'll be more than happy to put it out there for you once I get it.
Okay, lawyer. I feel say one answer will be on question. Say the new baby or the bit me attach. So I said we new there. I just say it are going to be we and
DJ,
me aka.
said next week. I would like to. I would like to go over the topics that we have talked about. I'm sure people will have some more questions. We've talked about spousal visa. We've talked about visit visa. We've talked about health and care. We've talked about, of course, we've mentioned about the construction industry workers. We've talked about prison officers. We've also talked about child applications in the UK, domestic violence, domestic abuse. We've talked about all those things, how a person can switch from one category to another if they came into the UK with a spouse visa and things don't work out, how you can move or change track, etc., etc. We'll talk about so many things into next week. Now, I'll see if I can summarize all the topics we've talked about. I'll just give punches so that if anybody has any questions, maybe they haven't followed us for all this while, or they have some questions that have not been answered in the previous programs. If they want to ask any questions, we'll be more than happy to respond to your questions. DJ, thank you very much. Wise Small Solicitors, number 18 to 22, Ashwin Street. Wise Small Solicitors, 18 to 22, Ashwin Street. 8 to 9, the Print House. 18 to 22, Ashwin Street. 8 to 9, the Print House. Your Dalston Junction. The postcode is E83DL. Telephone number 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. The mobile number is 079 31 411 042. 079 31 411 042. Your Dalston Junction. Mufra, you happy to come in? We are more than happy to assist. Thank you. And again, I want to say thank you to DJ. I want to say thank you to you. Special thank you for all that you do for us. We appreciate you. We thank you. You bring very informative information to all of us, and we cannot thank you enough. We thank God for giving you the wisdom and the knowledge to do what do. We are grateful for your life. We pray that in 2024, more knowledge, more opportunities, more wisdom how to go about this and to expand it to cover a wide range of areas. We are grateful. We are really grateful. Yamin Shira, it's here for you now. So we thank you all for following and for being there for us. God bless you. I wish you the best of the coming year, 2024. The Lord will do you good. All that you have planned, all that you've thought of, I pray it will come to pass in good health and prosperity. I love you all. I really appreciate you. DJ, thank you. Over to you.
Lawyer Wisdom Akao, Akpe, SCR. Hey, Obito Peso book appointment 20 and and so for some so number 2 or the
I want to book an appointment with you tomorrow, please. Jasmine, well, I will be here. I will be here from 1 to 4 tomorrow, from 1 to 4. So yes, my number is 079 31 411 042. 079 31 411 042. So yes, call me and let me give you a slot of the time, and you can come in between 1 to 4. I will be here working and seeing clients. So yes, get in touch and then we can arrange something. Thank you.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Wise Man Solicitors. Yeah, that's it. Madam Ansamu SBTV Africa when him say every Fridays be an many lawyer Wisdom Akaho live. Send a bear so no. mobesua bibri mbe hu mo ampesa mo ko UK ma mo UK ho nya me bia se ohu me ne na programs ni bebre first time ni a bebre ko YouTube channel a ko live no so SBTV Africa ko live no so bon se me na bebre enti wo hwa e be bo pa me da maso mo join here FM DJ Nyame just made it me da say na akushika alamte me da say Tomofos me da say kojo da kwa me da say Nas me da say Jacob Okwe Anna me da say make it make sense. Thank you so much for joining us. Daniel Boahin me da say Isikado me da say Emmanuel Asari me da say Mohammed comment by George Boampong. Thank you so much. Sumaila me da say and K Auku Richard, thank you so much. Bright Adomako Natison me da so much. Peter Kingsford Dazi, thank you. Evans Achu me da say Salome Kwe me da say said they be no follow SBTV Africa. But I'm going to say your videos me bring on YouTube channel. You really see many nkofo bebre aye interviews many obinda ko kona ko ti obinda ko besua nyama bebre free ni ho many obinda ko aye interview 1 and 2 on YouTube channel no so nti follow and subscribe to your channel no wait me wa adwin chaba on India tem that channel no dia tem yourself you now go read your own thing cuz they go delete am so only nipa nya adwin wait me a kire wa adwin by India tem yeah the more bebre mo daily hustle GH daily hustle worldwide. Over so me show this or Ghana or far from me, baby. I will be making sure so broadband or broadband and Wi-Fi and internet in here. Wait me a link here. No about showing this. We a business person. We a business be na bibia. But a link here needing common here. The way and so no a man for whom the way. It's a open daily hustle. GH FM DJ Nyame. Madam production team I say. We shall come back as 2 na just so 2 so 2 macram.
My name is Calipos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of TapTapSend. People, TapTapSend is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana. If you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download TapTapSend on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on TapTapSend.
Delight Cocoa, the authentic, original taste of African porridge. Available in all African and Caribbean shops. Delight Cocoa. Ah, Ede.